You might be my favorite person in the history of planet Earth, especially since last Tuesday. Yes, you are my favorite. Thank you so much for popping in for another tiny wee history lesson, brought to you once more by me, my love of history, my complete inability to stop, and also the Game City's skylines too. I guess we should probably mention that as well. And today, fine favorite person that you are, we are back in ancient Swan's homeland. Yes, that's correct. I am not from hell. I am in fact just from Scotland, the land of the brave haggis and all the other cowering wee beasties too. Where in Scotland are we? And what are we looking at? Feast thine fine eyes, O beholder of all that is beautiful. This is Drumadoon and the Isle of Arran. Evidence shows that Stone Age settlers first arrived here more than 5,000 years ago, when they promptly set about building an absolutely massive ceremonial monument, now known as the Drumadoon Cursus. This is the most complete Stone Age cursus in the British Isles. The 1.2-kilometre-long Drumadoon Cursus sits close to the Machrie Moor stone circles, a significant ritual site for ancient peoples. I'll take a quick second to add here that yes, of course, both the stone circles and the Drumadoon Cursus have been included when building this map. Now, you may well be thinking to yourself, stop! Wait, don't go on yet. Please first tell me what the absolute Falkirk is a cursus. Well, you'd be fair to think that, because I also had no idea. And to be completely honest, even after reading into it, I still wasn't completely sure. So let me just quote Wikipedia at you instead. And maybe, via the magic power of photographs, we can get some more understanding. And now, let us listen to the Lady God of Wikipedia.
Cursuses are monumental Neolithic structures, resembling ditches or trenches in the islands of Great Britain and Ireland. Relics found within them indicate that they were built between 3,400 and 3000 BC, making them among the oldest monumental structures in the British Isles. Cursuses range in length from 50 meters to almost 10 kilometers long. The distance between the parallel earthworks can be up to 100 meters wide. Banks at the terminal ends enclose the cursus.
So, think long and wide ditches surrounded by raised earthwork banks surrounded by more ditches. These would also sometimes be lined with wooden posts. But not just any wee bank and ditch malarkey. Oh no, these are undertakings that would have taken our ancestors many thousands of man-hours to complete, in a time before even a bronze shovel. These were built by hand, stick and stone. It has been conjectured that the cursuses were used in rituals connected with ancestor worship, or that they follow astronomical alignments. More recent studies have argued that they were used for ceremonial competitions. Finds of arrowheads at the terminal ends suggest archery and hunting were important to the builders, and that the length of the cursus may have reflected its use as a proving ground for young men involving a journey to adulthood. Truth is, though, these are all just intelligent guesses, and we may never know their real purpose. Tell me, what do you think these were for? People lived here at Drumadoon for thousands of years, working the land and building what are some of Scotland's most prolific standing stone circles. Within earshot are the 5 stone circles of Machrie, and just a stone's throw from them is the Auchtergallan stone circle and cairn. Archaeological digs here have also revealed the remains of hundreds of round huts, indicating a massive presence of people for long periods of time, beginning with the building of the Cursus around 3000 BC until the site's abandonment in the late Iron Age. Drumadoon commanded a strategic position overlooking the waterways, and by 100 AD, Drumadoon had grown to become a major centre of power, where craft and industry flourished, and traders from far and wide came to flog their goods. Despite its major abandonment at some point around 600 AD, there is evidence of some small human inhabitation continuing for a little while longer. The walls of the nearby King's Caves contain extensive carvings, where you can find Irish Ogham script and rare Viking serpents. Drumadoon was eventually abandoned for unknown reasons and lay undiscovered until very recently, when in September 2023, archaeologists uncovered what was left of this ancient centre of power. As always, these maps are made using a mixture of real-world satellite height maps and archaeological dig maps. I make them because I'm addicted to history, And literally the only thing that can stop me is my own death, and also perhaps a power cut. But let's cross our fingers and hope neither one happens before I've finished the next 500 cities and maps I already have planned. If you'd like to play on this map, then feel free to follow the link in the description below, where you can grab the map from the Paradox Mods website. It's free and it'll make us both happy. Here's what mine looks like. Here's New Drumadoon, population 233,000. And just like your favorite prostitute, she looks pretty from a distance, but get in close and you'll soon realize it's nothing but crabs, rats and utter filth, and not the good kind. New Drumadoon is a den of debauchery, sex, orgies, drugs, more drugs, and a prostitution ring that would make even the Orange Man from America blush. It's beautiful, I'm sure we can all agree. It's a city absolutely filled with parks, but it's also a city where the parks are absolutely filled with used needles. It's a city where public transportation almost makes cars obsolete, but it's also a city where public transportation is just a second home to washed-up druggies, and you'll probably still want to drive your car if you don't want to get stabbed. Obviously, I've made a feature from Drumadoon's history. Its stone circles and cursus play a prominent role in my parks. Here's Stone Park, where Scotland's history is regularly pissed on by dog walkers. Not the dogs, the dog walkers. Yes, you heard me. The stones have stood the test of time, even though they've been graffitied over so often they can no longer be read. But that's okay, because we'll always know that Jeb was here 2022, and that's what's important. And this is Cursus Park. Yes, I'm very original with the names. But unlike days of yore, when the Cursus was a shooting gallery for ancient kids to run the gauntlet and test their worth by firing arrows into the sun, the Cursus is now a modern shooting gallery, where modern kids have a safe space to fire smack straight into their eyeballs. Tourists flock here to gape at the locals, before quickly jumping into a rocket and firing themselves into space to get away from the smell as quickly as possible. In the distance, you will see one of the rockets leaving right now. This rocket has no definite target. Nobody bothered to program it in. People were too desperate to escape. Drumadoon Explorer 13 will eventually come down either somewhere in the sea or somewhere in North Korea, whichever is furthest away. Scots have nicknamed this city New Glasgow, on account of the constant whiff of fresh sewage mixed in with the constant aroma of everyone's favourite green herb. And also because of all the needles. Did I mention the needles? Happiness is merely a concept people have heard of once, but yet to experience. It has all the mod cons you'd expect of a modern city. Or at least it would do if any of them worked. Even a member of the royal family has moved in. Except that member is Prince Edward and the property prices have crashed. But hey, that's life. It is what it is. Anyway, that's my Drumadoon, but you build your own. That's the great thing about this game. Each city is unique, and mine is uniquely shit. God bless. Now, before we get into the map info, I am reminded by my slave master, wife, that if you don't subscribe, then she will whip my ass red and only allow me to sit down if the seat is made from rusty nails and salt. I don't think I even need to tell you how much it hurts. It's not something I find kinky. It's just something that makes me cry, so please subscribe. My wife collects my salty tears and rubs them into my wounds too. It's not nice. I don't like it. Now, enough about me crying like a little girl. Here's the map info you were waiting for. Theme, European. Climate, -13 to 24 degrees Celsius. Buildable area, 48%. Outside connections, road, rail, air, power, sea, rockets fired into space. Natural resources. Wheat 42.3 square kilometers. Forest 889 kilotons. Ore 128 kilotons. Oil 126 kilotons. Terrain. An easy, flat starting square surrounded on all sides by mountains and hills. Well, ladies and gents, what do you think of that? Did you know about Drumadoon? Isn't it beautiful? People lived, fought, shagged, partied, danced, married and divorced here for more than 3,000 years. And then they disappeared to be forgotten about for 1,000 years more. I'm so happy we found them, because I got to make this video and map, and I love doing that. Anyhow, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next time. Peace, love, and Drumadoon. Whoa!